Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Albion TV, and you joined us for a very, very festive reset day. And a week earlier than usually the reset would be scheduled, but we thought that people wouldn't want to interrupt a lovely turkey dinner with family to come and defend territories in Albion Online. So the reset is going to be this week. Invasion Day is upon us, and you join us for the EU portion of the event. For those who are new to the stream or even new to the game, we'll just give you a quick rundown of what the Invasion Day is. Basically, all of the towers in Albion Online lose ownership during an Invasion Day and have the ability to be claimed by anybody who's willing to do what it takes. There's two sessions today, the EU session, which is now, and at around 12:30 a.m. in the morning, it'll be Robin Hood and Shozen for the NA reset. Everybody's sort of gearing up and getting ready. It's about half an hour as we see it until the territories go live. One thing, though, the show is running on a 15-minute delay. If you're familiar with the War Report show, you know why, and you'll be used to this, but it's so that we don't give away too much information. Joining me, of course, is Mr. Shozen and Bogul. How are we doing for this fine Invasion Day?
I'm doing well. I'm currently watching Black Order versus Ghost Stop right now in Thunder Rock Ascent, and I'm trying to get a name for both here.
Okay.
Syndic wasn't near the action just a moment ago, unless you have.
Oh, he's zoned. He has zoned in Thunder Rock Ascent for the fight, and he is on foot, ready to rock. It looks like.
Sharkeisha, or Sharkeisha.
Looks like all of the 16x13 alliance. I actually found out what that was based off of.
Yeah.
The other day.
Project Mayhem.
That's it. Project Mayhem from Fight Club. Yeah. Ah, interesting. It looks like Black Order are on falling back though, as Syndic and the boys.
Syndic is right there.
Are rolling over them. Big old surge. I don't know what the quality of these guys is now. The PoE Go though are inside PoE, still remaining together but unallied officially in game to avoid those debuff penalties. Black Order, this is a nasty little choke to be squeezed through, isn't it? I see Fredix, Riddick, and a few of the other Black Order guys struggling to get through this choke. Couple left behind there. No, it's a PoE Go guy actually left in the choke, and the PoE guy showing no mercy because it's a mess, and there's red all over the place. The Nyx group's taking a bit of a beating here. They're probably not going to be able to push on too hard. They're side by side by PoE Go. Sharkeisha and the gang falling back right now, Shozen.
Yeah, they are a little outnumbered as more and more PoE keep flooding to the zone. We've seen this common thread as Black Order is willing to pretty much engage all the time, but they often get outnumbered at the 18 UTC time slot by the mighty forces of the PoE Empire.
Why am I not spelling Sharkeisha right? I keep getting bounced out.
I put it into chat, and we can just hop onto Syndic because they are currently right on top of each other.
All right, let's show you. Jump over to Syndic because I got bounced out there. Syndic and the gang coming in with a little soul scythe, trying to get this little clump on the north of this wall. Not much space to operate. The thing is, they've split here. Half of them have gone north towards the exit, and the rest of themselves are backing themselves into a choke. Syndic needs to be careful, though. We did see him use his ice block just now. Oh, that's a nasty camland, but no follow-up right now.
We see that tactic often when reinforcements are coming in. You'll have one group that stays and keeps the larger force engaged so that they don't back out. While you regroup, wait for the big numbers to come in, and then you hit them from behind when you're a larger force. Now, I don't know if that's what the case is here with 16x13, but we have seen it in the past with Frag and with Elevate. So it is a common tactic that's being used currently by the Coalition.
Okay, I think those guys actually just got split on the choke, but that's interesting. Is this a coalition fight then, or is this just PoE versus 1613?
So 1613 is, I wouldn't say they are hand in hand with the rest of the coalition, but they all have a similar goal of removing PoE from the black zone.
But you can't do that anymore.
You can't really remove them, as there are now the HQs that will allow them to stay. They have every right to stay. They are an active guild that can certainly participate in things like core retrieval. They're not going to go away. To remove them would be incredibly difficult at this point.
Yeah,
but the goal is to remove their hideouts and take their territories, and it's been going very much in favor of the coalition.
That is somewhat like not ironic. I'm trying to think of the word, but to finally defeat them at an era where you can't fully remove them after they fully removed everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't fully get your own back because they're just like, all right, HQ, then I guess you win.
I don't know, but isn't that enough, really? I mean, if at this stage of the game, it's so much about what you get to say on Reddit, and if CIR is into a position where they no longer can, provide rental services,
yeah,
I think that's enough.
I kind of felt that rental services would go away naturally over the next couple of seasons anyway because of the HQs, but it looks like this fight is potentially drawing to a close. I see a lot of PoE go just picking off on the northeast exit. Just picking off a few stragglers who didn't quite make it out, but Thunder Rock Ascent is now under the control of the PoE forces.
Nice. Lewpac, you want to go over a little bit about what we're doing here on Invasion Day? We kind of got interrupted by very quick action, but we have a little bit of a lull here. We can talk about how all the territories have been dropped, that there are NPCs that are going to be all over these territories very soon, and you'll have to fight those to gain control of the territory.
Yeah, of course. And these guilds and these forces are going to be divided into two parts: their army and their bossing teams. A lot of them choose to have specialist bossing teams because you can kill the boss, which is required before you can claim a territory. The boss has to go down. It's not an easy boss. It's got a few skills, but I mean, experienced teams won't struggle with it, but it's not, you can't just insta-gib it. You have to spend some time taking it down. A bossing team is the most effective way. Yeah, they are vulnerable to gankers and other enemy zergs coming over the top of them. They're not really equipped to fight a ZVZ. They're simply equipped to take out the bosses as quick as possible. A safer but slower option is to zerg them down with an entire force. But that takes like 3 times as long. And it's a waste of an entire army for that amount of time when 6 or 7 guys can do it in a third of the time. But we do see some people, if their bossing team is miles away and they particularly want to secure an objective, they will have to obviously just zerg it or do whatever they can. Upon claiming a territory, the guards and the sentry mage will immediately spawn, so it'll become a friendly territory, which is quite interesting in the middle of fights as well. We've seen some fights take place like right to the wire for a tower, and the side that claims it suddenly gets a huge advantage as all of their guards spawn simultaneously on top of the enemy army, causing a bit of problems. So we'll see some fun there, and we're going to obviously, hopefully, the main thing, we'll be keeping an eye on who's claiming what, but the main event is obviously these big armies. Everybody gets their biggest mass on reset day generally, and we're going to see these big forces just taking each other head on. We hope to see some excellent ZVZ action today, especially as, this is a new iteration of the game. We're in the HQ meta. Alliances are getting smaller by the day for the most part.
Well, I mean, it's different right now. There's a lot smaller alliances, but what we're seeing is a lot of those alliances working together towards common goals. And the common goal right now is there is a large coalition that has formed between the 15 and I would say 21 UTC timers to push the PoE empire and the 4 different alliances under PoE out of the Black Zone and stop them from doing the rental. And I guess they just controlled a lot of the map for a very long time here in the world of Albion. And a lot of people built up some animosity.
They've had a large presence on the map since the day the servers opened, to be fair. There was a bit of a lull when Syndic took a break from the game for a while, but generally they've always been a factor. But I mean, as you can see here, so Black Order now is zoning back into Thunder Rock Ascent. And this was actually, this Skyatel hideout, which is now a HQ, has been an alliance objective for both sides since the first iteration of the war, hasn't it? Like they've always, this feels like one of the hideouts. The Thunder Rock Ascent hideout has always been whacked, and we've seen it on one shield multiple times actually. And now it's been turned into a HQ, so as long as they maintain it, it will never be destroyed. That being said, you can take down everything apart from the HQs and, like you said, shrink their empire down to just a few zones. But now, if somebody,
I think you can really limit their effectiveness of being able to push out and control large territories. I do not think the army will go away, and I think that the content will stay. It just will have to turn itself into something new. And it'll be interesting to see what they do when they're put into a position that a lot of the other strong guilds have been in the past, where they were pushed out of their primary homes and
Yeah.
had to primarily play out of either rests or a alliance hideout. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. I think the rests for a larger alliance like CIR are maybe a better choice than trying to play out of individual HQs, unless they can put all their HQs in a very tight area where they can move out together and control 1 or 2, 3 possibly zones and work to move out from that way. But it's going to be an interesting process. I don't think this is going to happen all at once, and we're going to see which direction they're going in with today's invasion day, to be honest.
I agree there. You know, these migrations and these changes will happen over time as people adjust to what's happening around the place. But I do agree with you that it's a good system in that if a guild is active enough, they've essentially earned a spot in the black zone. Like
Right.
you can't expand aggressively like we've seen in the past unless you have the forces to back it up. But you also can't be held to ransom by alliances wanting to rent the hideout to you, or, you know, saying, if you don't join us and fight for us and do the mandatory CTAs, we'll just whack your hideout. It's like, well, now you can't. So have fun with that. I'm just trying to keep an eye on these forces because I think we're going to get another clash pretty soon, Shows. And it did look like the Black Order boys and their alliance were looking to get back for some revenge on PoE. Syndic and the boys are in River Corp's Fount right now. I also saw all of Surf was in Morgana's Rest.
Yeah, they're still in a
So
rest.
they're way away from this fight right now.
Interestingly, we do have some groups that are out even taking castles right now, where others are still inside the rests. Like, there's activities to be done at different levels. I see NA guilds out trying to capture castles right now, while all the EU guilds are trying to capture their territories. Very interesting.
Oh,
Everybody's out, though.
AAA and Elevate, Dior and AAA have started to zone into River Corp's Fount. So it looks like they're on the hunt for some PoE boys. The PoE guys are making a little transition through Fount towards the southeast exit, heading towards Thunderrock Upland. And of course, Fount and all these are 1800 territories as well. So these are going to have hideout objectives today. Obviously, no new hideouts can be whacked like outside of these time zones if you've missed the earlier slot. But these 1600s, if you grab the tower, you can start a new hideout attack. And of course, ones that are already under attack are going to be vulnerable regardless of who takes the tower. So there's still going to be a lot of open world objectives. And on top of that, of course, there's going to be some other stuff. There's going to be the cores, there's going to be chests, there might be some vortexes. All of that stuff should be spawning. I think vortexes don't spawn on reset day though. I've got a feeling. Oh, Shozen with the reconnect there. I think was having a bit of audio trouble. You okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine. Bull just asked me to try to reconnect.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit of it. It wasn't too bad, but so here in, if you check out Thunderrock Upland right now, you've got a PoE Go HQ level 3, but you have got a Crimson Imperium hideout, which isn't their HQ because they made their their Sunkabara Spring, which has always been their home. They made that the HQ, which means this one can't be a HQ, and it's already lost the shield. So I imagine in the next sort of 15 minutes, we're going to see a large amount of fighting over here, and we'll see who is still banding together against PoE. As I see some hammer and sickle guys trying to kill a pest lizard bloodletter looting person. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of those around today. Obviously, not everybody shows and takes part in reset day for the fights and for the territories. Some people like to put on a nice tanky evasive set, grab a pest lizard and some a big hefty bag, and they just like to go around picking the bodies clean because there's a lot of money to be made not fighting on reset day if you're a sort of pick the bodies clean kind of person, because the loot that gets left behind in some of these fights is wild.
Yeah, there is a lot of loot on the ground that can be picked up. The ratting on Invasion Day is insane.
And we've had entire guilds dedicated to that before, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, TikTok. Yeah, absolutely. There have been, and they're not the only one. But one of the things that you see happen is the guilds that aren't massing to take territories, such as the ones that are going to be fighting later tonight at 1 UTC, those guys are coming out today because it's still their Saturday. You know, they're hanging out. They've got nothing better to do. They're going to go out and they're going to do some ratting. They're going to follow around the big Zergs that are busy picking each other off and taking territories. And while they're moving from spot to spot, these guys are moving from corpse to corpse.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how much. I mean, I wish we could get the stats, Shozen. I wish at the end of a reset day we could get the stats on the amount of total kill fame acquired for a day. You know, how much loot was trashed, the value of stuff. I feel like it would be a shockingly large amount right now. Like mind-boggling amount of silver gets spent on gear. It's a good day as well to be selling food, mounts, and ZVZ gear, because there's always people who left it too late and are stocking up at the last minute. Right now, though, we've got a few forces posturing. It looks like there's multiple CIR hideouts missing a shield, by the way. So
there's been ones that have gone down in the last few days. We've seen numerous PoE hideouts go down, but I actually have action over here on Del Negro. It is Dior versus Kite.
That's okay. Let's go. Battle break.
I don't know these guys.
There's always a bit of action around here. Pathfinder. Okay. Get some sizes on the forces in a minute, hopefully. But it looks like the bridge is actually being pushed, and that's a huge clap over to the right. Great defensives coming down, though. There's the counterplay, and this is going to be a very, very offensive maneuver here from Del Negro and the escalation gang. Actually, no sides take casualties, really. A couple of tight guys. A couple of tight guys went a little bit too deep. But
they went crazy. And one guy in the deep died as well, and so did Brock.
Good stop there. These guys really want to come over this bridge. Like, Tight is being very, very aggressive and not respecting. Escalation shrugged off that last engage, and this could be the full wipe here. I think they've overcommitted to this, and there you go. We see a ton of bodies. They've just gone full into brawl, and the Dior guys held their ground, didn't give up the bridge. That's the most important thing in those situations. When you get rushed, you can never fully give up the bridge. You have to keep fighting on that, because there's always going to be ones that come in the second wave a little bit later. It looks like they are actually going to let them across the bridge and kite north, because there's reinforcements coming in from the north by the looks of it. And some of these Dior guys are getting hit in the back. A few casualties, actually, and from the south as well. Seems to be multiple flanks going on here, Shozen.
Yeah, this is coming in from multiple sides here. This is something that we've seen these guys specialize in the past. But wow, this is just a nasty push by the guys in Dior and Escalation right now. These guys have been working alongside Elevate for a couple of weeks. They have been doing very well. And it's unfortunate for Pathfinder that this is who they're meeting up against today, because I just don't know Pathfinder.
I feel like the bridge push, though, should have come after the side guys hit. Like, I feel if the side forces had engaged and then the bridge push came, they wouldn't have lost as many on the bridge. You're always going to take some casualties, because pushing a bridge in a large ZVC is always the worst. Because all of the enemy fire is concentrated on one place. They're able to use denial spells, you know, those wind walls, those grail seekers. There's just so many ways to slow a bridge push down. I also see the new life curse. Obviously, the life curse taking the purging role away from the locust, which is now just a cleanse. So it's interesting to see that the locust, which has always been very, very powerful and very represented, is now split into two weapons, essentially, for a ZVZ. This one seems to have wrapped up, though. Gonna bounce around, see if we've got any other action. There's a bit of Blocko Darua running around Surf, but it doesn't look like they're actually going to be fighting anytime soon. So I have no idea where we're going to go next. Shozen still having a couple of issues, I think.
No, I'm just fixing it up. I think I've cleared it up. So I should be back now.
Okay.
Right. Looks good in my end.
Yeah, Thunderrock Ascent now has 16 by 13 inside of it. A couple of zones away, we've got the PoE forces. But right now, those guys are just sitting. Okay, so they're camping the HQ to make sure none of the Scoia'tael guys get out. I'm gonna quickly bounce onto this guy from Scoia'tael, or one of them, and hopefully see how many of them are in. Actually, no, Loxy and the Scoia'tael forces are not inside the hideout. So I believe that those guys actually go to Loxy now. Loxy right now, yeah. That's Loxy versus Elevate right now. And a few of the Elevate guys go down, but you'll see a counter engage very, very soon on the choke. And a counter engage it surely is, as 5 guys immediately from the main group get deleted. A few others go low, trying to pull out there. But Loxy is all alone against Elevate and looking like he's a bit outnumbered as well. They're going to have to hold this choke there. OC, wow, that is a lot of OC, Shozen.
Yeah, there is. And that's what they're going to do here. They're not going to risk anything. They're going to take everything they can and overcharge every bit of gear they have and get ready to just destroy their enemy here. No stone unturned, as they say.
Yeah, there's like a second force of Elevate coming around the outside as well.
Like I said, these guys are very good at this. They will split into multiple groups and they will keep you engaged on multiple sides. And then as soon as they get you to waste some of your cooldowns in one direction, the other side comes crashing in. And Elevate knows that they have
Here we go. K-Bread have turned up, actually. There's a few more reinforcements
they just got
coming
deleted.
in.
They were there. K-Bread showed up and they went home, as it looks like about 15 of them just got deleted in a single engagement. Right up front.
I'm watching Loxy, though. Loxy's guys are about to come over the top on this choke, and actually he catches a huge chunk, but great defensive stopping the rest of the force. That could have been absolutely brutal, honestly. Like, they caught a load of them on the choke. But the DPS weren't able to connect, and I think they're just going to get swept over right now.
Yeah,
this is a lot of
kind
Elevate.
of crushed right now. Elevate has been doing very well in the ZVZs, and if they have close to your numbers, you're going to be in trouble right now. They are one of the best when it comes to 2 things: getting their supports down and their heals to make sure that they don't die when you engage them, and following up on their engagements. And we have CIR coming in from the west. Syndic is leading in the choke right now. Tamashi has turned to engage. There's a huge clump. The pump is on it, but it looks like there's a...
CIR just lost their entire force on that choke.
It looked like they got a few of their defensives down, but yeah, probably a few too few.
CIR just full wiped in that choke.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, they lost a lot. I wouldn't say it's a full wipe, but it's probably about 10 of their most important guys, as it was their front line right there.
It was 10 out of Syndic's group, which is always obviously going to be one of the stronger ones. They might try something else if Elevate try and push through this choke, because they can't just give it up and get run over. But I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do, because these guys, they preemptively have that enigmatic on them, so they're just so tanky from the back.
Syndic's group is currently fleeing down the choke here. They're trying to get out of this. They lost a lot in that engagement.
Yeah, there's a bunch of trash talk coming out.
5 left in his group.
A whole bunch of trash talk coming out right now.
I can see why. Well, that was a brutal engagement right there. First, they took care of K-Bread, then swept through the rest of PoE Go. Very effective, using their numbers to their advantage. Then when CIR came from behind, Elevate was completely prepared, stopped it in the choke, clumped it, and then pumped it hard.
AAA have just zoned in. I don't know if they're fight. Oh, they're not going to fight Dior then, no?
No.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't feel like they need everyone now.
No, they probably don't. That was very well played by Tamashi. Right there, you saw
Elevate
engaged against 3 different fronts. Yeah, 3 different fronts. Engaged on them all, took each one down in order. But the most impressive is when they took down CIR on the choke there, because that was a full turn by Elevate, going from an east spread flank, turning into a very tight western flank, and then catching it. And then the most impressive part, getting all that DPS down very quickly and destroying them on the choke, because you saw the defensives going down for PoE and they just weren't fast enough.
Yeah, they did just get absolutely rolled. They did. It looks like actually they're chasing them out of there. I'm not sure. They had quite a large force, but it does look like they're pursuing them. Syndic got out alive though.
Yes, he did. I'm gonna be looking
he's no longer command mammoth thing. I did notice that.
Yeah, that has been very interesting. He has been a frontline fighter recently. Very effective in it.
But yeah, that should have been a much bigger hit from behind. As you said, they had the flank. They had a slight timing issue, I'd say. The other guys, the K-Bread and such, had wiped a little bit too many people. Like they were down too many. Like, but the problem was they came a little bit late and Elevate had cooldowns up, so they just absolutely mullered them in that choke, like you said, Shozen.
Oh, I just let the world know that Noob Slayer 79 exists.
A little bit of a mistype there, was it?
Yeah. How you doing, Noob Slayer? Let's see if you got any action today. Not online. Well, there's your shout out. Hopefully you're watching.
Right, I'm just bouncing around seeing if there's info. If you do have fights, by the way, guys, if you have any confirmed action and you'd like to share this information with us, you always can. We're able to be PM'd the Shozen one or Lewpac cast in game. It's actually probably the best way to get in touch with us during the show because we don't really look at chat because of the 15-minute delay. Interaction is not really at a premium here. Okay, looks like PoE Go are regrouping and looking to go again. But in 3 minutes, not only are the towers going to go live, Shozen, the wacky can begin. And we'll see swarms of people around these PoE hideouts hammering away. And obviously we know that there's only a 20-minute window for this. Like, you have 20 minutes of vulnerability within which you can whack the hideout. And if you don't whack the shield in that 20 minutes, it will regenerate a shield. And if it ever gets to full shields, you'll have to start the whole process again and pay the fee. Which, what's it cost to attack a tier 3 nowadays with the current goal, like the current adjustments? Quite a lot. It's over 10 million, I think.
It's quite a bit. Pop it up. Let's see what do we got for gold right now.
I'm trying to see the price, but I can't. I don't have
I'm just getting warped around the world.
I don't have
open a
launch
menu.
permissions.
Okay. Oh, it's actually pretty low right now. 31.26 for gold right now.
Facts are in the AAA alliance as well. That alliance has got very big recently, by the way. That alliance is up to 3,300 people.
What? 3,300 people in that alliance?
Yeah, after taking Red Tree, I believe they got a load of new members. Who would have thought?
It will happen when you improve your standing in the world. Your alliance will get a lot of new members very quickly.
Red Tree looks so different now.
Red Tree is empty of HQs and hideouts right now. It's very weird. I mean, there's like, what, 6 of them? That just seems so low.
What was the quality of Red Tree? It was only a quality 2, so a lot. I would have thought more people would have just put HQs up, but I guess with the redistribution of fame.
I think they just said have it. Like, I'm pretty sure the mentality inside Arch was, if you want it that bad, have it.
Well, also, like,
we're not about a territory, we're about a mentality.
Well, also a couple of factors are that having these zones with the T8 dungeons are not as important now, because 2 things changed. Obviously, well, 3 things changed, in fact. 1, the dungeon's got multiple entrances, so you can enter a T8 dungeon from a number of places. Number 2 is you can now pop tier 8 maps in tier 6 zones, which means T8s don't have this premium value. And also, number 3 is a lot of fame was redistributed to the open world mobs, with the rallying and the promotion, so they get stronger over time, and they're worth tons of fame. Suddenly, having a T8 static isn't like the be-all and end-all for an alliance anymore. So if you were going to lose it, it wasn't a bad time to lose it. But right now, actually, there is a huge force of Arch zoning into Longfen Arms. And there's a group of AAA on the Longfen Arms tower who were thinking about bossing. They are no longer thinking about bossing, Shozen.
No,
because there is a 41 disarray blob of Arch coming in. A few of them actually got dismounted by mobs on the way out. Unfortunately for them, the elite vengeful Guardian Lord and his guardians all spawned on top of them and dismounted a bunch of them who were trying to run. So actually, it looks like they're making a break towards Red Tree. And they've had to divert as Arch moved to cut them off. But Arch are going to go into Longfen Arms and try and hold on to this. Like they haven't cleared out Longfen. There's a few hideouts being destroyed here from people who have left Arch. But there's still a long way to go. Jason and Gluttony have said, you know, like you said, Arch is more than just one zone. Right. It was Torrid Trough back in the day, if you remember that, back in the Anglia, Mercia, Cumbria days.
Then they moved up
and before
to
that, they used to just live in Mercia.
Siluria. Yeah,
without
and they moved
the
up to Siluria afterwards and made their own little Archganistan up there. Aided by Skuzgabel.
They're zoning into Red Tree right now.
Really?
So they may be looking for a fight, yeah?
I am just hopping around the world, going from player to player, trying to see if we can get any action. We have a lot of different groups that are currently taking down towers. That has started. I'm watching Mon JP take down a tower. Just saw Lugsy working on one just a moment ago. So players are out there attacking towers.
Yep.
But not these large armies, which seem to have other things on their mind. It makes me wonder if they're more concerned about taking down those other large armies and getting those big kill boards, then over the next week or so, securing the territories.
Yeah, I mean,
again, continued content.
You can attack the towers anytime. You don't have to get them on the day. That's just a little bonus. CIR and River Corp's Curve, by the way. Pogo have just joined in to the zone as well. No hostiles right now, but this is one of the hideouts that's under attack, and it's only missing one shield. So all these 4 shield hideouts will be fully repaired and defended again if they manage to hold them all. But I imagine it's going to be a case of they'll focus on saving 1 or 2, and the others will get whacked for free. That's what I expect to happen, as actually, yeah, facts have literally turned up as we speak. If you go to Grumpy Girl right now, Grumpy Girl, you'll see facts have just turned up with the demo hammers in Thunder Rock Upland to begin whacking. They don't have a lot of hammers, though. I'll be honest, they're a little bit light on the hammers here for a tier 3 hideout.
Okay, well, they have time.
I mean, yeah, but these things regenerate very quickly. Like, it's at 98%.
You can do it pretty quickly if you you're dedicated.
Not with 5 or 6 hammers. This is gonna take them far too long.
Let's see, what are they getting for percentages here?
No, it's still 90.
97 after 20 seconds. That's not gonna happen.
No, this is, I mean, look how long it's taken them to do 1%. I mean, it could. If they're uninterrupted, they probably get it. But the problem is, if they get interrupted for a few minutes, the regeneration kicks in, and these things regen quite fast.
It's 13 seconds per percentage.
Okay. So 1,300 seconds required, which is, we need more hammers.
They need more hammers.
No shit, Sherlock. I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it with these hammers, but if they get scouted, if they get interrupted, it's very easy to deny this. And Cynic and his boys are only a couple of zones away, I believe. They could happily. I mean, actually, PoE were 1 zone away in Curve, and for whatever reason, like facts. This is a real scouting error, Shozen. Like, PoE had a zone capped on their own, and this is like a tier 1 or 2 blob of facts hammering the hideout. And they just need to go boop into that zone. Like, who? Okay, yeah, okay. They've got the memo. They've got the memo now, and they're starting to run back. So facts are definitely going to need some backup here. I don't know who the Depth Alliance are, by the way.
Yeah, I think they're part of PoE, because I just saw them running alongside PoE and nobody swatted them.
Right,
Syndic was right on top of them.
So no one is on the Curve hideout yet. Some randoms from a guild called Martweed Toxicity, 16 guys. I think they're just looking to do some ganking or some bombing. PoE have grabbed this tower, but why on earth? Why on earth are facts being allowed to AFK hammer this hideout with a level 31? It seems bizarre to me. Unless there's huge forces waiting to zone in on top of them. Let's see where they're at now. They're at 86%. Shozen, this is not going well. This is not going well. And facts are actually mounted up and leaving. They're like, well, I don't think we're going to get this. And
I'm checking out. We might have content over on Dominant. I'm trying to read my chat, but the game keeps sending me on a world tour, and I can't read chat because I have to scroll up.
Oh, yeah. Dominant is fighting the ADHD Alliance.
Yep, that's what...
Couple of casualties I see on the field, but we'll have to see it. It looks like, oh yeah, there's a bit of a sandwich situation going on. Both sides taking some casualties. ADHD got some numbers up here on both sides. Dominant's line is collapsing. He wants to go in, but he's gonna have to pump his boys up as they are surrounded. There's a nice clump. Nice connection onto
really
ADHD
good follow
then.
through. Yeah, absolutely no defensive sound for those guys. They're in full flee mode here.
Well, I think these guys, there's another force to the south, so they're kiting, I think, to get the re-engage on the other side. I think they're trying to get their sandwich off, and Surf don't want them to get that sandwich off. They're just going to keep walking with them. There is stuff coming in from the bottom now, though. And here comes the overlap. Yeah, some Surf guys dying in the middle here.
And so they can throw their defensives down. The issue is the ADHD is very spread out, so
yeah,
they can't get their defensives on the guys.
They're not playing tight enough. Like, Dominant was able to turn around and walk towards the other force while getting cooldowns back. Like, if one side of your force is kiting away, the other side needs to be right up their backside. Do you know what I mean? You need to be hugging them almost. And it looks like, oh, ADHD to the west, a significant amount of them here. Putting down some Grail Seekers. The engage is going to come, and a bit of hesitation is going to get all of these boys killed, I believe. Yeah, they are all going to die here. Because they were just sort of stood around waiting for a call that never came.
You can't do that, Lewpac. You can't do that.
A swift death came instead.
That was brutal.
ZVZ alive and well today on multiple fronts. Good to see all these people, like with Tight Alliance, ADHD. We're seeing a load of new alliances and not a cluster queue in sight right now.
Well, we saw. I have one right now. I'm currently watching.
In this zone, I mean.
Yeah, but not in this one. But we've seen a couple of them. So there's a couple of them going on. It's just not as common. It's not about filling the cluster queue anymore. It's not about trying to see how many of your opponent you can push out of a zone. It's instead win the fight. That has become the name of the game. Win the fight. And we are seeing people outnumbered win fights again. So this has been really, really good.
So for context shows, on that hideout's already regenerated
Elevate
to 97.
and Syndic are on top of each other.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
right
for.
On top of each other.
That hideout's
Elevate
regenerated to 98.
Kamashi has demounted. Syndic is continuing to run while mounted. He's leaving a number of guys behind.
Well, they have the tower here. They have the tower here, and they have respawns very, very close. So I imagine they're going to want a superior defensive position. And again, the people that don't,
a lot of guys to die.
Yeah, if you don't,
it is a path of death there.
If you don't follow the calls quick enough and you get left behind in these situations, you just get run down. Also, if you cheap out on your mount, Syndic and his gang is OCing right now, and they're going to play around this tower. This is actually a level 1. Oh man, you got to level these towers. Like if this is
how is there any level 1 tower left in the world?
Like
for what reason?
Like the difference between like a level 8 tower and a level 1 tower is crazy, right? Level 8 towers are not to be taken
lightly.
lightly.
Getting slammed here. All Might's not going to even make it out. First engagement, and he's dead.
He didn't get it right. So the PoE guys are going to take up position on the middle here and try and use the sentry mage, the defensive tower, and of course the guards to try and cause some problems. But it's going to be it's AAA on one side, Dior on another side. And the PoE are the ones getting sandwiched by multiple alliances in a broad stroke of irony, Shozen. A taste of their own medicine from this sandwich, I would say. The Syndic sandwich was always renowned through the wars, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always been quite an interesting set of battles between these two. Sorry, we're taking care of a little bit of background information. Sorry, I'm a little quiet here.
Oh, yeah. PoE getting...
They're getting Oh, no.
Murdered on every side. They're trying
I
to
don't
fight
know.
back
They're
onto
pushing out
Elevate.
really well. Elevate just got clapped there, Lewpac. They're completely surrounded. Elevate's losing this engagement. Elevate has already lost this fight.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Who came in from behind then? Oh, PoE
That is
Go
K-Brad.
came in from behind.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Elevate has
That was
already,
nice. Yeah,
they're
Elevate.
going to have to regroup if they want to get anything going here. They got crushed as soon as Squaretail engaged.
Couple
there.
of
Very
couple
good
of
job by
K-Bread
them and
there
K-Bread.
in the crossfire. Syndic nearly dies through a
He
clap.
will do that every time. They do not care. There is a lot of crossfire between these two groups, day in and day out. If it means that you can defeat your opponent, you will take down your teammate as well.
Yeah. And like I was bouncing around these Elevate guys earlier. They have a lot of A3. These guys came to bang on reset day for sure. Look at Syndic, by the way.
How many of them are still alive here?
Syndic's not
Lewpac?
chasing directly. He's looking for the cutoff. He knows where they're going to be driven. He's going to let K-Bread carry on the push. And he knows exactly.
CIR just got caught. Wales and his group got pushed there in the choke. Wales did escape. Now here comes the second push by K-Bread and the rest of PoE Go. Good push, but again, see, Elevate doing a
Syndic's
great job
wrapping
at
around the
absorbing.
back. Syndic's gone the long way round into the back of them. So if you watch Syndic now, he's about to collide right with the Slothies that are pulling back out of there. Wow, big damage coming out on top of some of these guys though. I don't know what though. I think it was the war gloves. Yeah, Petit Phil's there with his war gloves. I think that's 8-3 war gloves by the look of it. Absolutely decimated some of those guys. But right now, I think it's cleanup, Shozen. I think it's just like pick and choose
There's
the
very few
remaining
left here,
elevates. Yeah.
Right now, we do have another fight about to go down as Judicate is about to engage against Tidal. These guys used to be on the same side. ADHD used to fight alongside of Surf, but now Dominant is going into their territory to take them down. First engagement in. Tidal, a little bit of success there. Nobody fell, but a lot of low bars getting pushed out.
That was a clap, though. That was a big clap. Some great heals, though. The Enigmatics are on point. Tidal lost a couple in there, but it could have been so much worse.
Lewpac, Elevate has actually been able to regroup, get many of its members back in the form of reinforcements, and they are still engaging up top over against K-Bread and PoE Go. Great engagement over here, and I think they might have a nice follow-up. Yes, they do. And that is a lot of PoE going home against a much smaller Elevate group.
I think Syndic's going to come in through K-Bread, though, and look for a counter. But, oh, wow, they just got hard stopped by a single Grove. That was beautiful from a guy called Cryonism, I think. I think that was the name I saw there. He just, like, hard stopped this little group of PoE trying to land a bomb.
And that seems to be doing a little bit of Diddy dancing. Is that Lugsy fight still going on?
I don't know.
The whole time.
I'm going to jump over to Dominant and see what's going on this tower then.
Well,
actually, they're leaving.
dancing.
Let's go to Lugsy then.
is in the middle of a fight, just caught a huge group while outnumbered. Just slammed Hat down, just folded them like, look at all those dead guys.
The Hat Alliance versus Zorn. Zorn is in an alliance, but they don't have any allies.
No, they're just a solo alliance.
Which is, you know, how a lot of people are choosing to play now. And I got a lot of time for it. It's super fun. Like, you've got to accept that sometimes you're going to be surrounded from all sides and that people are gonna call loads of people in. Look at that for a clap, though. Very juicy on the choke.
Very effective, yeah.
But one of the great things is red is always dead. That's a great feeling. Oh, the return,
that
though.
looks like enough, though. I think that might be enough. If these guys push all the way, Zorn won't stand a chance, but they're not, Lewpac. They're not pushing all the way. Though nice play by the Mammoth in the choke.
I mean, they might try and hold the choke long enough for the battle mounts to get out. That might be the play there, or maybe no. They're gonna get the looters.
They want the
looters.
in once again.
Where's the DPS?
The balls.
Where was the DPS? It was a little bit late.
Is late because there's just not very many of them left, Lewpac. I don't think they have the numbers right now to do enough DPS to catch them in a single clump and take them out.
I mean, the main thing is you've got to think is how quick are our reinforcements going to get there. Lugsy's group is pretty much all alive.
Full. Yeah, they're 17 out of 20. Not too bad.
I think Hat are one of these.
That's a beautiful clump. Okay, maybe there is. I was wrong. Look at that.
Yeah, I see Macor.
Did you see that?
Yeah, very nice.
Well, I guess when you don't put any defensives down, I only see Lugsy's Judicator down on that corpse pile.
And there's a ton of bodies here as well. Like combat looters getting picked off left, right, and center. Lugsy's actually trying to get his force up the hill potentially now.
He doesn't need to. He shouldn't. I don't.
Oh no,
he's
more
got
hack
a group
coming from behind.
Anexia. Now, Anexia is pretty good. Let's see if these guys can.
Oh,
make a
nice
good showing of it
enigmatic.
against,
Nice
Luxy and
enigmatic
Zorn.
onto that Camland. Here comes the counter. The Camland comes
Not
in.
so
They
much.
stuck them all together, and bye-bye. That clump
Wow.
of hack guys is going down. Zorn are kiting very, very well. They still haven't lost anyone else from Lugsy's group. Like, there's people getting low,
So
but
they
they're
got one
getting
back.
saved. They're getting saved. Yeah, they're getting
Very good.
reinforcements.
Yeah, very good support plays right now. They're a little spread out for what I would like to see with such a small group, but with completely surrounded on two sides, west and east here, they're doing
But
fantastic.
they've got to fight though. They've got to fight both sides because they can't just allow someone to engage freely. They've got to keep poking at both sides so that neither side feels comfortable. Otherwise, the ones who aren't being harassed will just go in hard, and they'll go in at the
Lewpac,
right time.
I'm guaranteeing you, if you're in hat comms right now, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, like they're doing exactly what's right. They're going to pull south, and they're going to try and make it so the hat forces have to merge so that they don't have the advantage of fighting on two fronts. Trying to pick off a few of these clothies on the way out, and that guy, the Bridled Fury, and his mate are going to be dropping swiftly. Oh, that's a big Camland. The follow-up's good, but the enigmatics come down. The locusts come down. Brilliant defenses from Zord, and there's the counter, and hat are going to get dropped. They're just shrugging off. Lugsy's group is back to full members now. And once again, this is a no cluster queue fight. So everybody in the zone is able to go. Lugsy's weighing in at 22%. See what the Hat Alliance is looking like after their casualties. They're at 37. So obviously the Zorn boys, they take less damage, which is nice for them because of the disarray advantage. So playing better, this is like the perfect disarray disadvantage because you're not outnumbered to the point you get swarmed. But the DPS advantage is enough that if you play better, you should win. Like if you're outnumbered by like 100 or so, they just swarm over you once you've used your cooldowns, regardless of how good you are. But here, they're absolutely handling the Hat boys. Like wave after wave is reinforcing. Like guilds from Hat that are reinforcing are riding past the tattered remains of guilds that are leaving this fight to regroup. While Zorn just manhandle everything in front of them.
Speaking of manhandle, Tamashi's kind of running through Skoyatal like a hot knife through butter. Is this
the same zone still as before? Oh yeah,
No,
I see Logsy's about to go down.
Oh, what is EQMS doing? Be careful, guys. You're supposed to not be getting killed by that.
Obviously, they've flipped sides from PoE to the coalition. And they're here to take it to the old masters, as it were, but Elevate just running cleanup crew right now, it looks like. Dominit's back in Morgana's rest. So a little bit of a reprieve for those guys, I believe.
See what's going on over in Red Tree. I keep getting requests to go see it, and all I see is just a giant mass of hearts standing around a tower. That's not very exciting. Thank you, chat, for recommending them, but please only recommend them when there's content.
We like content, don't we? Not non-tent, just content. Some of the towers started to fall. In fact, a lot of them are falling to these boss teams as everybody gets busy with the claiming. No mega surprises. I am a newbie then. I assume they're affiliated with the coalition because they are being allowed to take tons of territory or tons of towers in coalition territory. Maybe they're, maybe they're just paying for these towers. I don't know. I know they've got a lot of GVGers playing for them this season. I'm sure you'll be seeing their force in the 20v20s. Arch have reclaimed Red Tree, Shozen.
Yeah, that's the tower that we just looked at.
Are they whacking
maybe
the
that was what they
hideouts,
were really
though?
excited about. Just that they were able to get their territory back on Invasion Day. And that's what they wanted to show.
Welcome home.
Content. Okay.
Welcome home, they said.
All right.
I mean, I would have whacked the hideout just for good measure. But yeah. Last Society, by the way, from the 16x13. I believe they were used to be Arch, I guess, because their hideout's been whacked to one shield. Whether that's a food thing or a whacking thing, I don't know. But this is going to be a full AAA zone soon. Like all of those hideouts. Like there's no power. There is food, so it must be being whacked. The remnants. There is no remnants of Arch in Red Tree, which when you think about how many hideouts were here, Shozen, is ridiculous, isn't it?
There were like 14 of them, Lewpac.
14 and the rest.
Number.
And the rest.
Too many. Too many.
Holy moly, Shozen. Yeah, it was bonkers. Look at these guys. The action's dying down a little bit now. The timers have now passed, by the way, for the hideouts. So I'm just going to give a quick update on the hideouts. The River Corpse Curve hideout has repaired. The Thunder Rock Upland hideout is now fully repaired. The which other ones are under attack? I'm just trying to find out. River Corpse Crossing is still fully repaired. River Corpse Path is fully repaired. Okay, so it does look like the fighting, because there was so much fighting going on, wasn't really a lot of time for whacking. So these hideouts got a one-day reprieve, but I'm sure whacking will resume in the next few days, as is tradition. Although that said, like all of the PoE guilds now have placed their HQs, so there's going to be a bunch that can't go down.
Yeah, they won't be able to be knocked down, is what you mean there. They'll be placed and they'll get ready to just kind of hold themselves in a spot. You can only bring your guild into an HQ.
Yeah, so they all need their own HQ. They're not an alliance thing, but it does mean that for each guild in the alliance, they can have a HQ, which means they can stage from various places with that guild if it's big enough. One of the main things as well is it means that because you're never fully sent back to town, you still exist in the black zone. So as soon as the coalition or whoever embroils themselves in a new war, you can start creeping out again. Do you know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
I imagine, I would say that it's more or less over. I don't think PoE is fighting back on any major scale, like in the current situation, unless something changes. So I imagine to see some of these big forces fighting themselves with each other soon, which is going to be super interesting, actually. I wonder if anyone... I mean, Judicate are storming after I Am a Newbie right now, and Elevate, like, since the comeback, have been rising up the charts, despite actually being allied with other people as well. Obviously allied with Escalation and Elevator, so they are splitting points. We'll see. Judicate, I mean, I Am a Newbie are going mad on the points right now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them who've been doing really good with points lately. I'm very impressed. I didn't think we were going to see...
We've nearly got our first Crystal Guild.
Being so far ahead 3 weeks in. I didn't expect that.
Well, I mean, there could be some surges, especially, obviously, the high-value towers as well. As they start to get leveled through the season, they're going to start churning out the points chosen. So having those inner ring towers, if anyone masses tons of these inner ring towers, they can make a bunch of points.
Well, so far the most I see is 7 from any of these of the top 10. So
most towers.
Yeah.
But 7 inner ring towers. 7 inner ring towers is crazy. Yeah.
Well, they just walked over Sun, I guess.
Yeah, Donegro's having a little fight with Sun on the bridge here.
Is that a fight?
I think, I don't think... Oh, there is still some people the other side, but they lost a few on the bridge, it looked like, from Sun. There's a load of different forces here, though.
For Sun
yeah,
for a while.
Del was with Sun for a while,
during their successful season victory.
Yeah, Del was the one of the primary shot callers from there. There's a lot of ex-Sun guys in there, and I think they're just having a fight for the content, to be honest. There's no bad blood between those guys as far as I know.
What about with PoE Go?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Because right now, Del Negro is fighting against PoE Go to his east with Sun on his west, kind of pushing back a little bit, getting ready to, I think, just take on PoE Go.
Yeah, I don't know if the Sun guys will come in for another hit there. They lost a few on the bridge, but they might let's take advantage of this because they have no affiliation with either side. So if they see a bunch of reds on top of a bunch of reds, that seems like go time to me. Del Negro holding really well here, though, just battling back. They've only lost one from their group. And PoE Go, they're being sent back down to the southeast. And I think Sun took that as their cue to exit after the casualties they took. I can't see. Yeah, it doesn't look like... Yeah, PoE Go now has that bridge. Mer has arrived as well, interestingly. I don't know who they're sided with. And EQMS is here now. So we might see... We might see a bunch of fighting.
Brutal situation then. Yeah, absolutely. If EQMS can get their mitts into PoE Go, I think they want to do that. I believe there's some bad blood there.
It's always it's always a shame when a good even fight gets ruined by like all the allies turning up.
Can we be a little bit honest here? From what I understand, there is a little bit of bad blood between Sun and Scoia'tael, members of PoE Go, and from the other side, you have to believe that Sun would still be very friendly with a group like Escalation, which has so many ex-Sun members in it. So
yeah, but
I don't think they would look at that. They might fight both, but if they could,
I mean, the philosophy is there's no naps, there's no nothing.
Yeah, but there's also tactical attacks and making sure that you eliminate your greater enemy before you engage in friendly conflict.
There's no beef with Scoia'tael or any of those guys, as far as I know. Like
we should listen to the interview then.
I mean, yeah, well, they got a bit upset with us leaving, right? But we didn't leave on bad terms, and we didn't flip sides to the enemy, a la EQMS. So I don't know why they be mad, but
okay.
I haven't heard the full interview.
It's a two-parter. It's very long.
Selfie's a character, bless him.
The second half is when the juice starts getting squeezed.
What's the juice then?
From what I understand, there's a little bit of bad blood between Scoia'tael and Sun. That's the impression that I got. Perhaps Scoia'tael wasn't willing to return the favor of sharing points. Maybe forcing Sun to drop territories. Maybe just putting a little bit of pressure on Sun that made them not necessarily need to be members of PoE anymore if it wasn't going to be an equal split. I don't know.
I don't know the politics. I wasn't particularly. I was just playing GVGs and Hellgates, man. After the last World War, I stopped going ZVZ altogether. It just got so silly. Because of the size of the population. Here's
we
CIR,
have main
though.
CIR here now. Big clump, instant clump and dump by Elevate. Those guys up front, I don't think they were ready for that. I think they expected there to be more dancing and positioning here. Night Day and Hiho deep in the back lines here of Escalation, trying to make something happen. Nice sweep over the top by K-Bread and Scoia'tael as well, making that a two-front war, but I don't know if there's enough CIR left.
They got bloodletters in the back line, but they need some DPS. They need some DPS to get them low first.
Yeah, like they're just poking them right now, and they're just making themselves known. That's all I see right now.
Yeah.
We have another group over to the west. I'm going to take a look at that, see what we have there, because it does look like it's a secondary front.
It's Mer. I don't know who Mer are with or who they're fighting, but they got a bunch of kills off of somebody.
M3R? Okay, yeah, it's M3R.
Yeah, who are they with? Or are they not?
More along the sides of what I would consider the coalition.
The anti-PoE?
Yeah, the anti-PoE.
Okay.
But not necessarily.
Hedging their bets in case it doesn't go well.
They're going to fight with the fights that work for them, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a CIR push coming in now. Some great DPS going into CIR, though. And again, the Enigmatics. The Enigmatics are the MVP here. Escalation do lose a few on the front here, but they're going to be able to hit back very, very hard with full cooldowns shortly. CIR are actually playing nicely spread. If you look how wide their line is here, Shozen, they're not really presenting one force, and there's more sweeping over the top from PoE Go behind.
This is very messy from both sides of PoE.
I feel like Crimson are playing it okay, though. Like, by spreading so wide, they're not giving them that one fight-ending clap. Like, sure, yeah, but that's not a fight ender, is it? Like,
no,
compared,
they're gonna need like 7 of those because of how how many. They just have numbers here, Lewpac.
Yeah,
They're
and
spread
that's
for
how
a
you
reason.
fight.
They have so many more than Escalation right now. I just don't see Escalation being able to find a good choke that they will be able to compete with. And I do also have another fight going on. If it's still going to continue, I've been watching One Done versus ADHD over in Willamore Wetlands as well. Big fight over there versus Judicate.
What Escalation wants is a huge clump of the enemy army that they can just delete and shatter them. But they're just kiting them and not allowing them and just nibbling and poking from all sides. And it's got to be frustrating actually right now. They've literally got Weepings running alongside them, constantly hitting them with the with those caltrops and stuff as well. And I see the end of this. Russian Guild taking a few casualties there, but they also take down 3 or 4 Escalation members. And there's somebody just zoned in a big way, Shozen. Something massive just zoned in, and it is Elevate to the rescue.
Oh, no.
So this fight will be over very, very soon.
I don't know if it'll be over. I wouldn't say that Elevate can end this, though it does look like.
No, I think they will.
Well,
I mean, they'll sweep in across. Remember, Escalation are allied with them.
Well. Yes.
So
they're under the same alliance. There's no friendly fire.
They'll just run over the top.
Come right in.
And this will be perfect. And Escalation, they've taken a lot of casualties, but they'll just be they'll just be able to merge into Elevate when they arrive and fight with them. So it's not like their composition is ruined. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're holding CIR here, making sure that they can't leave the battle. And here comes Elevate, and the purple name tags are sweeping through the orange and green.
And this is a mess of a fight right now, but it's the good thing about being allied is you're not worried about pushing chokes together, stuff like that. And these are 2 decent guilds, so they trust in each other as well to push when the time comes to push. And it's just over. Like I said, they arrive and this is completely over.
Speaking of over, Lewpac, we've got to end this rather soon as we got to get out of here in the next 8 minutes. We do have a hard ending because we have another show for you guys in just a few moments. We have the 20v20s for the Crystal League up in just Bogul, what
and
we
then
have?
5v5 soon after as well. This is good.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay. Less than 15 minutes. All right. Yeah, we got to hurry up. Yeah, and then we have 5v5s with Lewpac. You're returning for
I'll
the
be
5v5
back.
today.
I'll get a bit of dinner, have a little bit of a rest of the old voice, and I'll be back to cast Crystal League. We got level 4, 5, and 6 today. But that was swift and efficient backup, and now AAA have turned up as well to this fight, which is interesting for sure.
That's just gonna finish anything that was left.
I mean, there's no fight now. The fight's done. So it's just mop up, and you get there and the fight's already over. I don't know how far they ran to this fight, but it is already done. So. Right. Well, I don't think there's looking at this. There's not much else going on right now.
We have Judicate versus Surf over in Willamore Wetlands. We just saw.
Is Surf not coalitioning then anymore?
No. Well, soft coalition.
Just sort of doing their own thing, but we're there if you need us, kind of thing.
They still push on PoE. You know, there's no love lost there.
They've had. What about Frag? What's Frag up to at the moment? I heard they were making some moves lately.
Yeah. Frag, it seems to be... Again, this is a situation where I think a lot of these different groups all fight each other, right? And we've seen it time and time again. Over in their territories, they're all going to fight against each other for their own territories. If you come into my home, I'm going to attack you. Okay,
Surf, ADHD, and One and Done, by the way, are all in the same zone right now.
Okay.
Go on, carry on, sorry.
I was going to say... But if we can defeat the Empire, let's go for it. I think that's really the feeling that most people have.
I think the Empire is more or less done. Honestly,
it's crushed right now, and that's why I think we're seeing a lot of these other groups move off and start fighting each other.
Have their own little fights,
having their own little wars as well. Because right now it does, like you said, it very much feels like PoE and the Empire is on the ropes, and I think the primary groups will be able to take them out.
PoE VZ had a emotional farewell, didn't they? good luck and F you. You know, obviously.
That's how do you... There's been some abusive conversations, I would say, in TeamSpeak towards the smaller groups inside of PoE. You really didn't matter. You were just the numbers that you could bring to stuff a queue, and that was it. Any misstep, there was no loyalty, there was no, friendships. These weren't
numbers
alliances
above all
built on, a mutual respect. It was, what can you put down on the ledger? What do you matter at the end of the day for coin? And if you're not bringing coin or numbers, you don't matter.
Here we go. ADHD just dismounted on top of Surf, by the way. Dominant is getting his guys to dismount as well. ADHD looking for an engage, but only finding a couple of tanks. They actually catch a couple of stragglers there. Dominant's going to look to re-engage on this choke. The Grail Seekers are on point. The defensives seem to be okay. Some damage went down, but ADHD going to shrug that off after getting a few kills. They're trying to regroup the other side of this choke, though, and reset the fight. They took the engage in an opportunist fashion when they saw the dismounts and saw there was no cooldowns. And now it's going to rejoin it as a... Oh, Surf, you didn't want to do that. You did not want to do that, though. That is big casualties there. They're going to have to get a good re-engage here to even things up. And the engage is good. I reckon that was a pretty one-for-one exchange in terms of numbers. Both using the majority of their cooldowns. We'll see who's going to go again. Lots of damage, but some people get out there with a slither of health. And the re-engage. Oh, they haven't got the HP on the front to re-engage here. Dom's looking for something, but look how deep ADHD are. They say if your DPS wants to connect, they're going to have to come right through this choke. Surf not willing to commit that. These robots as well, these big pull-ins from the golems are very, very useful for setting things up.
These juggernauts seem to be they are one of the more popular battle mounts right now. I love seeing them on the field. I think they look cool. I just want to see more of the Phalanx Beetles personally.
Okay, we're gonna be getting out of this soon. We'll cover as much of this fight as we can, but don't forget to stick with us. Immediately after this show, Robin will be here for some 20v20 action, and then straight after that, I'll be back for some 5v5. But right now, we're gonna see the closing of this show with a bit more action here. We don't, we will wind down a little bit because we are gonna suddenly stop and hand over. But we'll give these guys their time on the spotlight. It's a shame, really, because this looks like it's about to be a banger of a fight.
This is a good fight.
There is ADHD Judicator about to come over the top of Surf as well. Surf have about 30 seconds tops, Shozen, to either get over this bridge or get out of town, because they are about to be 100% the filling in a very, very ADHD heavy sandwich. And they're going to hit as hard as they can across this choke. The Judicate wave is about to descend upon them from the north if they know what they're doing. I saw a huge force coming in. Where are they, though, Shozen? Have they actually looped round and joined the main force instead of flanking? Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Okay. No, Surf knows. Surf are mounting at the back. A bunch of them are mounting anyway.
Are they just going to hold?
This is
so
weird. Or are
they going to rotate themselves?
Hang on.
Oh, incoming.
Oh, no. And Dominant is caught. He's in his ice block now.
Yeah, he's trying to eat up some damage. The guys up there with him did not ice block quick enough, and they are all dead.
Yeah. Well, they don't have ice block. Ice block is a shot caller's luxury. And Surf taking huge casualties on this choke point right now.
Save you in that?
No. And yes, Dominant's group's okay, but Surf have taken massive casualties. And I love this from ADHD. Look how deep they play after the engage, right? They don't stand on the bodies and let Surf counter. Oh, that's another. Oh, it's another one. And Dominant is down. Dominant is down with no ice block, no shot caller. And this is going to be, I don't know. Who calls now? Or do they just leave?
Well, I have a perspective from the other side, but it's not a tank.
Reinforcements are arriving from both sides.
We're not going to be able to finish this, Lewpac. We've got to actually go. We got to wrap this up and say goodbye and let them know that we will be back in just a few minutes here. Oh, gosh. 5 minutes.
All right. Well, good luck. Good luck. Have fun to both sides. It does look like ADHD is going to Gonna put it to them here as they do some mega damage, some good return from Surf. But thank you for watching this EU reset with myself, Shozen and Bogul. Albion TV is here all night with a full schedule of programs, so keep it locked on the channel and don't forget to hit that follow button. This was the EU reset, which was a bloodbath, and we'll see you very soon here on Albion TV.